black and white bingo helmet here. So if you would move
this
our
over here?
Jet, Boomer, and Geo helmet over.
Look at
I'll
that.
put the bingo helmet up there. Look at how pretty that thing is, man. That thing nice.
Man. And they're wearing those again this weekend, right?
Yes, gets the Steelers, baby.
Wow.
Pure Gina's Steelers.
That's right.
So it's Boomer versus Gina this week.
It is. She's down on the team right now. I got to get
Everybody's down on the team.
It's funny because I'm activated as a Vikings fan. She is not as a Steelers fan, but that is one of the great.
Isn't that pretty helmet, man?
Oh, it's one of the great uniforms right now in the NFL. Is that all white with that white Bengal stripe?
I have to say it's probably the second prettiest helmet I've ever seen. I did not wear this helmet, unfortunately. They didn't have these helmets when I was playing. But that helmet behind me on the wall.
Yeah, the Terps
helmet. That helmet is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So
that's
need
pretty
to see
good.
some more of that helmet.
Man, so you think Tierney will want this helmet now, too?
I hope not. He's not getting this helmet, I can tell you that. Anyway, though, it looks good. And just a little reminder of they're playing this week, and they're going to be wearing, I think they're white jerseys and black pants. So they have a pretty good uniform combination. I'm into that kind of stuff. I don't know about you.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great. I mean, especially there's a few of them out there that don't look great, some of the new ones, but that Bengal one just hit it out of the park. There's not a single person out there that didn't love that when they trotted those out.
You know, I did love the Jet matte black helmet. That was
I mean that was great. I'm kind of regretting the fact that we ended up giving it to Brandon Tierney because
why?
I don't know, because it was really cool. I liked having it in the studio, and we did get him involved.
I'll get another one.
All right. He did get involved in the 40-mile bike tour.
Here's the deal. He's got a team for the 40-mile bike tour. I already know that he's having conversations about getting a bike over in Jersey. I talked to a guy that was a part of our marathon team.
All right.
And he's talking to Brandon Tierney about bikes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So Brandon's all in. He's got to pay it off.
Sure.
Ultimately. But he's all in. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm pretty happy about the Knicks, too. I mean, as I juxtapose into the Knicks real quickly, because you wouldn't let me talk about it yesterday, because you said you were not really that excited about them.
Well, yeah, they don't have my attention.
But the fact that they've never, when was the last time they won in Denver? You were 24 years old?
Yeah, 24 years old, 16 years ago.
Think about that.
16 years ago.
Now, I know no Jokic,
and no Aaron Gordon.
And all right, so what? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just win the games that you're supposed to win. I swear to God, in the NBA, if you just show up and give effort, 3 out of 4 games, you'll win 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah, all right. So let me just. People are going to say cold water, but let me just throw this at you. Just reasonably, all right? So the MVP who plays on the Nuggets didn't play. Their third best player, Aaron Gordon, didn't play. And the guy who carried the Knicks to victory last night was the person that we all wanted off the team and still want off the team. And the third overall pick who is on our team is in one of the worst shooting slumps in Knicks history.
He's sick like I am. So
is this a great win for a franchise?
I'll take it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'll take it. Just show up and win. You know, by the way, when Skylar Thompson was playing for the Dolphins, you didn't say anything about the Jets beating them. I mean, like you were like, oh,
football's totally different.
Oh, okay.
Football's totally different.
I mean, so the reigning MVP out of a game is not like a potential MVP for a quarterback out of a game?
No, I mean, of course, football is so limited amount of games. The regular season matters. The Jets have been bad for a long time. They have a shot at the playoffs. And who knows? With the NBA, as I've told you before, the Knicks are in that area where they're in NBA purgatory. So they're either going to be, they may make the playoffs, they may make the play-in, and then they're going to get smacked around by a good team and it won't matter. So, I mean, that's just where they're at right now. So that's why it's tough to be totally interested in them. But, I mean, all right, back-to-back, they had a players-only meeting. They won a couple of games. They're going to have to really do more for me to get really interested in what they're doing because, to me, they're just a middle-of-the-road team that's just on the road to nowhere.
You want to know what the biggest disappointment was? Was it last week when they played the Nets and the Nets just absolutely drilled them?
Yeah.
And now the Nets are like spiraling out of control, and you got Kevin Durant just lighting into his teammates and talking about why he was unhappy with Steve Nash, that they didn't practice. He wants to be held accountable. Do you believe any of that?
Yes, I believe that he didn't like Steve Nash as the coach, and this was his way of making it sound better that he wanted him fired.
He just absolutely tore into Steve Nash without tearing into Steve Nash.
Exactly, but he made it seem like, hey, I'm a guy who likes to work. I want to work hard, and he wasn't making me work hard. So, like that, but he's trashing the coach. But, the worst part about that article clearly was he named all the guys in the starting lineup and said, What are we supposed to do with that group? People just expect us to win because I'm out there.
It's unbelievable. It is just. I mean, I understand that, there are times where, you don't have your full complement of players, and maybe Ben Simmons is not living up to, the expectations or what they expect from him, and then Kyrie Irving's off into Never Land again.
Yeah,
which seems to be normal for this team. Every couple, every year there's probably about 3 or 4 weeks where Kyrie Irving goes off the deep end for whatever issue it may be.
And it seems like he's going to be back sooner than later.
Yeah, but still, he's gone. Yeah. He's gone again.
Right.
So and even if he comes back, they were playing poorly with him. They weren't playing any defense with him. Mm-hmm. And, and I don't know if Jacques Vaughn is running, inbounds plays in practice, or they don't like shoot-arounds. I mean, this bunch is it's unbelievable. And it's led by, unfortunately, one of the great individual basketball players of his era. And he is just basically tearing into everybody but himself.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy who wants to work harder. They wouldn't work me harder. I'm someone, he did say he appreciates the game and all of that, especially after the Achilles injuries. It wasn't all bad, but and then he ended up trashing his teammates, which
isn't that the end all be all, is whether or not you can lift your team and support your team and play great defense. And it's not just about scoring, double doubles or having triple doubles. It's about leading your team. I mean, does a leader actually say what he just said about his teammates?
Well, that's what he said. He goes, people say I'm not a leader because of this, this, and this. Well, you just exercised another example of not being a leader by naming your teammates in the article and then saying, what are we supposed to do with that group? And I don't care what you say. Those guys see that, and they feel like crap about it. There's no way that they agree with Kevin Durant and say, he's right. We're not any good. He's the only good player out there. It probably makes him feel horrible.
How about, I often tell you that there's the hidden stress and anxiety that comes from individual relationships on a team. Mm-hmm. So you think that the family members of his teammates are reading that and appreciate that?
No, not at all.
You think that those family members are saying to their own guy who's on their team, on this team, saying, what the hell's up with Kevin Durant? Is he just urinated all over you guys?
Yeah, essentially.
Right. So, that's the thing behind the scenes that nobody sees. You could play whatever thing you want in social media and out there in the public, but behind the scenes, it's the intensity between friends and family that ignite problems within relationships. I told you I had those when I played for a couple teams.
Yeah.
And, and sometimes family members don't realize what they're saying or how they're saying it, or a teammate may not understand what they're saying to family members that they may regurgitate around other family members. I'm sure they all sit together when they go to the games at Brooklyn.
Yeah, all these guys want to do all the guys that he named, and Nick Claxton and everybody else. Yeah, they love Kevin Durant. They probably love playing for him. They want to impress him. They want to be able to get to that level. And then he's just trashing them and say, what do you expect from that group? And he prefaced it by saying, no disrespect, but what do you expect from that group? It's crazy. I don't know if this is another one of his ploys to try to get out of there, try to get traded. I don't know. But, it's amazing to me that these guys cannot stop putting their foots in their mouths. And this one could certainly have an effect on the basketball team and on the court, because those guys have to be like, what? Like I'm out here busting my ass every night. We're trying, and Jacques Vaughn comes in and they'd won a couple games, and now you're basically saying that you're playing with a bunch of schlubs.
Yeah, well, our $35 million point guard's missing again. He's missing every year. Yeah. Where is he? I never know where he is. What's he doing? Come on, Al. It is like this. They should have done a psychological study on this team over the last 4 years.
Oh, they will.
I hope somebody will.
There'll be a documentary at some point.
I wish that Steve Nash would just write a book about all of it
and just trash everybody like he got trashed.
Basically say, how difficult it is to play with these egomaniacs.
Yeah.
And how to coach these egomaniacs. 1 minute they're saying, I want to do this. The next minute they're doing that. It's like up and down, in and out. It's like bipolar syndrome all over the place.
It's very difficult to get in.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is. The NBA has just gone completely off the deep end with this stuff. These guys have too much power, too much influence. They've ruined the Nets. Sean Marks is someone who tried to put this team together and blew up in his face. And Kyrie Irving's going to come back, and they'll have those two guys again. But I'm telling you right now, the combination of those two guys, how mercurial everything is, they're not going anywhere.
No,
that team's not going anywhere.
Absolutely not.
They're not better than the best teams in the Eastern Conference.
You know what? They'll kick the Knicks' ass just because that's what they do, and they get up for that, and that's what they should do. And if I were them, I'd probably do the same thing. But at the end of the day, they were brought here collectively to win a championship, because if it's the big two, it's the big three, it's the big 2.5, it's 1.5, it's one, it's nobody showing up, nobody's here, this guy's there. I mean, it just never ends. It just never ends with this team. And it's a study in how not to build a team, how not to lead a team, how not to be a good teammate, how not to respect the coach. I mean, it's just so many aspects of this that show you how not to do things.
Yeah, I know, but this is the blueprint for teams that want to win a championship, though, is to bring in superstars. That's what it comes down. Bring in superstars. Find those guys. I mean, the Knicks right now, that's what they're waiting around for. The next disgruntled superstar. Especially when you're in the situation that you're in, where you're not going to be at the top of the draft. You're not going to be in the lottery, most likely. So, I mean, bring in that next disgruntled superstar. So that's the thing that when I ask you about, what's next or the next step for the Knicks, like, what is it? Especially if R.J. Barrett's not going to be a star. Then you're going to have to go this route. I mean, you brought in a guy in Jalen Brunson who's a very good free agent signing, but like Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, that's why I love Donovan Mitchell, because he was a guy who seemed like he had his head on straight, and I wanted him here. I mean, he was the next guy, just the next superstar to blow up a team. The James Hardens, the Kevin Durants, the Kyrie Irvings. It's just impossible. I mean, they're so unlikable.
It's amazing.
So unlikable.
You look at the Lakers.
Oh,
look at them. Look at how they've fallen apart. Yeah, they won a championship in the bubble, whatever that means. And then, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but the Golden State Warriors haven't won a road game this year. They're 0-8. I was looking at.
That's incredible.
I mean, think about what that punch that Draymond Green, who'd he punch? What was the guy's name?
Jordan Poole,
right?
Yeah.
Ever since that, it seems like that team is and even Steph Curry scored 50 last night and they lost.
That's right. I know. It's very, very strange. I haven't seen a lot of their games. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's a team would figure it out at some point. They still got the championship caliber. They won the chip last year. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, think about the NBA. You got the Golden State can't win on the road. The Nets are imploding. They're getting rid of Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns. I mean,
Kyrie Irving.
The Lakers are a mess.
Right. No, it's not. And the games aren't fun to watch. They're just not fun to watch. I mean, in the playoffs they are, because they start playing a little more defense and you get the good teams facing each other. But the regular season is a free for all. Like, I mean, if you didn't watch basketball, like let's say you had a Rip Van Winkle moment and you were watching in the 90s, and then you woke up and you watched today's NBA, you'd be
totally different.
So confused.
Yes.
You're like, what is going on? This is what basketball is? Like, I don't want to sound like an old guy here, because I'm not necessarily an old, back in my day type of person, but this is not.
You want 145 to 139, or do you want 78 to 74?
I mean, that's what the Knicks
of the 90s
101 to 98. Is that okay?
The Knicks of the 90s were like 78 to 74. We're going to smack you down.
I did like that. But like a game like last night, the score like last night in Denver is acceptable. I don't like, 135 to 132. That's
It's nice
insane.
to see a Knick hit some free throws at the end of the game to win.
Yeah, I mean, R.J. Barrett, though, I'm sorry. That is a big problem. That is a big problem.
He's not feeling well.
Well, then don't play then. Don't go out there and miss 100,000 three-pointers.
Well, they here's the thing. They just keep shooting three-pointers.
Ridiculous.
There's got to be like a metric. I don't know. I have all the NFL stats and all that other stuff. I don't have the NBA stats. For teams that, like, say, hit 40% of their threes, assuming that they're attempting more than 25 threes a game.
Okay.
Have to be winning all the games.
You would think so, yeah.
There's got to be some sort of three-point metric that they're all going by.
The old make-or-miss league. But hell, like you're not feeling great today. You're bringing it.
I'm here, baby.
You're here and you're bringing it.
And I brought my helmet.
Yeah,
and
damn
I'm ready
right.
to go.
All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Jerry Recco's update, just a couple of minutes.